Welcome to another RMSO Roundtable Drive. It's Derek, Jenny, Kelly, and we're on our way to Bear Lake from Logan, and we're going through Logan Canyon, an area that is just full of Bigfoot sightings, both sides of the road. Several dozen that I know of. On our right side goes Hard Ranch and Monte Cristo. And then on the left side is the west side of the Bear Lake area. Once we get to Bear Lake, there's just all kinds of Bigfoot sightings on that side.
And if you ever get a chance, this is a canyon you're going to want to drive. It's one of the prettier canyons in Utah. Anyway,
it's actually my favorite canyon drive in all of Utah currently. I don't know, it being a Bigfoot sighting hotspot's probably one reason. Finding Bigfoot's been in this canyon. Bobo actually ran across this road about 3 or 4 miles up ahead. We'll point it out when we get to the location where he did a reenactment crossing the road in the wintertime. So we're here the right time of year. It was a plow driver that had a 9-foot tall Bigfoot cross the road not too far from the Tony Grove area. Crazy thing is where it crossed the road, there's actually a dirt road that leads all the way into Beaver Creek, a place that we camp a lot because of the Bigfoot sightings back in there. So yeah, when we went and found the location that the Finding Bigfoot reenacted that guy's sighting, we're like, if the Bigfoot wanted to take the easy way, it could take this dirt road all the way into the Beaver Creek area where people see it quite often.
Yeah, it's right on the turnoff to Franklin Basin.
And actually, the best footprint by far that we've ever found in Idaho was in Beaver Creek, in the mud and the water. I mean, it stepped in the water to make that footprint. If I remember, I'll put that at the end of this video, the footprint. But we found it the next day after staying the night there. I mean, we've camped and looked for Bigfoot back there probably a half a dozen times. It was about 4 or 5 years ago, and we found that footprint.
a lot of runoff, lots of water.
People are all out there fishing today.
We're at 162% snowpack, and it's been melting, and so there's been a lot of flooding in this part of Utah. Last couple of weeks we've had really warm winter days.
I was going to say, 2-3 weeks ago you wouldn't be seeing the ground.
No.
Still had a foot of snow, or if not more, on it.
We've seen a lot of deer today already.
That river's high.
Yeah.
That same area in Beaver Creek that we found the footprint, Jenny and I, one expedition back there 2 nights in a row, heard vocalizations that possibly could have been Bigfoot type. I don't know. It sounded like a woman screaming in distress, except for
A really big woman.
the lungs and the everything of that. Just, you knew it wasn't a person doing it. And when it was able to belt it out for, I don't know, 12, 15 seconds, I just can't imagine even an opera singer to be able to belt out a scream like that for that long.
It's about as full as you've ever seen it.
Guy in Alabama let me listen to some vocalizations he recorded out there, and it sounded like those screams, Jenny.
Really?
Yeah, he hasn't gone public with the vocalizations yet. He says that he has about 20 minutes of them, and he wants to take this big-time scientific approach where he wants to figure out exactly what it is before he, and I told him, I go, you should just, I says, those are awesome. He can argue the point it is Bigfoot. People can argue the point that it's not. Put it out there, let people decide for themselves, but I guess he's going to give it some time and see if he can figure it out. That's why he had me listen to it. He's, asked me, he goes, I know you camp where there's a lot of mountain lions and stuff. Do you think this is a mountain lion vocalization? And after I listened to it, I'm like, I don't think so. I says, those are pretty awesome. You need to get those posted to YouTube.
Mountain lions don't make a lot of noise.
No, they don't have a guttural growl, and
I mean, they have a growl, but it's low and it's quiet.
They hiss more than they growl.
Yeah. And they can actually meow. Like a kitty. Meow. Yeah, they don't scream out at all.
Hey, I'm letting people pass me because I'm going to do the speed limit. I'm not going to fly up this thing. I'm here spotting for Bigfoot, not trying to get from point to A to B as fast as possible.
We're not
I was doing the speed limit at 50 when every one of those guys passed me up.
We're not going to see Bigfoot today.
Yep.
Never know.
Keep that attitude, because when you least expect it is when it happens. That's my attitude. It's not gonna. I don't think it's not gonna happen. I just never expect it anymore because we've done this for so long. It's just,
I'd have to say, my only experience, I didn't expect it.
You probably didn't even think it existed at that point in time in your life.
Didn't even cross my mind at all until it's right there, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Wow, it's beautiful.
I'm actually pretty surprised at the amount of snow loss, the melt off that's happened already. Usually up here it lasts a little bit longer, but it's actually had a lot of snow melt off, because up here where we are now, they got hit hard, way harder than where we were.
This canyon's been closed down a couple of times this winter because of snow and avalanches.
Avalanches covered up the road up here by
Beaver
Creek,
Yeah.
ski resort.
Yeah, Beaver Mountain Ski Resort. Yeah, a bunch of people got trapped up there for a couple of days because of the snow, more than once. All my years of skiing, I've never been trapped at a ski resort because of an avalanche or heavy snow, knock on wood. Jackson Hole all got trapped in their town for quite a while because of all the snow too.
I wasn't mistaken, they actually shut it down where you couldn't even get into Jackson Hole.
Yeah, so everybody in town stranded.
That was just this last week.
Yeah.
Last week, yeah. There's been so much snow this year. I'm surprised that the snow's melted back in this valley, or this canyon. We're going to keep getting higher and higher altitude or elevation as we go back in here, so it's going to get deeper.
Oh yeah, we've lost a couple foot of snow this week because it's been so warm.
Yeah.
Down in the valley at home, yeah. Our big old snowbanks have melted away. We had snowbanks up to our chests and shoulders on either side of our driveway, and now they don't even come up to your knees.
Just up by my work, just where I actually work, which is in the valley, just the snow on top of the grass was up to mid to upper thigh. That's how thick the snow has been this summer. And that's down in the valleys.
Yep, I know of a guy that had a Bigfoot sighting up by Tony's Grove. Him and his dad saw it. They crossed the road. I work with his wife. That was the last year they used that. I believe it was actually the elk hunt when it all happened. But that's the last year that they used Tony's Grove campground as their
Base?
Yeah, as their base camp. That freaked them both out enough. They're like, no, we're not camping here anymore for the hunt. So they actually started camping on top of Monte Cristo.
Yeah, they're wanting to avoid running into a Sasquatch, so they go from Tony Grove to Monte Cristo.
It doesn't matter. Anywhere between.
Guess what, buddy?
Yeah. They're actually Monte Cristo.
Probably know of more actual sightings on top of Monte than
I now know 7 people personally that have seen Bigfoot up on Monte Cristo. We're probably actually the same distance if you can fly directly over the mountains from Monte Cristo as we are to Tony's Grove right now. We're probably directly between them, and they're big time spots. Yeah, Jenny and I drove the dirt road from Monte Cristo to Bear Lake, and it parallels this in the mountains off to our right.
I still think we're closer to Tony's Grove.
Yeah,
Where we are? Yeah.
I don't know. It parallels it, huh, Jenny?
I think we're closer to Tony's Grove.
But pretty close. Either way.
Doesn't matter. It's all in the same mountain chain.
It is.
Yeah. The dirt road that Jenny and I took from Monte Cristo to Bear Lake, the largest grizzly bear ever to be killed in Utah was killed there, and they've got a memorial set up back there for him. His name's Ephraim, but he was a problem grizzly bear, and he was actually on the wanted list to go take him out because he was taking out livestock and being threatening to people, and they killed him. He's the biggest grizzly bear ever in Utah. I've heard some people say that he was harvested at Tony's Grove, but according to that monument that we found dedicated to him, he actually died on that dirt road. I still think we get a couple of grizzly bears here in Utah. We hiked Christmas Meadows in the Uinta that one year, and we found those giant grizzly tracks in the mud back there in Christmas Meadows. Remember that, Jenny?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of black bear tracks, some huge black bear tracks, and these dwarfed them. And then the claws on grizzly bears, they'll hang out, you know, a couple of inches.
Coming out of the cave,
Wow.
out of Logan Cave. That's like a river coming out of that.
Yeah. And there's so much more snow that needs to melt. These rivers are going to be high all the way up into July. We've had a drought a few years. Crazy thing about Utah, though, is you're either drought or you're flooding. We really never have in between.
Or both. It'll flood and then it'll dry up and we're droughted.
Uh-huh. Everybody in the West right now is flooding, though. California, Oregon, Washington, and everybody in between. It's just been a wet year for everybody. I've seen the river higher where it looks like it's going to spill up on the road, but
Well, all the snow has
it'll
been
get to that point, I'm sure.
Closer to April, May.
I used to take my kids camping at Tony Grove all the time when they were kids, and when they were young kids, I didn't even talk about Bigfoot because I didn't want to scare them of camping. But they know it now. They didn't know it then. I was always taking them to Bigfoot sighting spots to camp. Yeah, my one kid, Caleb, he's like, I've pretty much been Bigfoot my whole life, huh? When he got older and I told him some of the spots I used to take him camping. Oh yeah, snow's getting deep. And this isn't nothing. Wait till we get over the top.
Down off that. How the hell they get over there?
Oh no. Good question. We'll have to keep an eye open for where the avalanches happened.
A lot of times around here, the backcountry skiers will have snowmobiles, take them to the top of the hill, and then they'll ski down, and then somebody will pick them up on the road.
And that's what would have had to have happened for where those tracks came down.
The people that do the inner tubes do that too.
Yeah.
Get a snowmobiler to keep taking them back to the top of the mountain. Hey, when we were kids, we always had to run back to the top of the mountain. I never had a ride.
No.
So, see the kids doing that these days, I'm like, man, how would it be?
Yeah, if you have parents that have one.
We did have
And not to use it.
We did have three-wheelers. We used to drag inner tubes behind us in the snow with friends and brothers and stuff. That was fun. There's a really nice church camp back in there.
Yeah, you're not getting back in there right now.
Yeah, we're not getting back anywhere today.
Not without a good snowmobile.
No.
And even then, when the snow's too deep and soft, even it makes it rough to get into places in a snowmobile.
I loved a snowmobile.
Yeah, I love how they accelerate from 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. Matter of fact, there was one year that you were dragging me around on my skis behind your snowmobile up there in Manorlands, right, Jenny?
Yeah.
That was fun. I think that's the fastest I've ever gone on a pair of skis. I know they were dragging me over 60 miles an hour.
I almost killed you on the snowmobile that one time. You're on the back and we were flying through the snow, and I rolled a snowmobile and we went flying off.
Yeah.
Landing in the snow.
It's pretty big. Couple sets of tracks all through all that.
Yeah, those are big.
Like what kind of tracks?
I don't know.
Moose
They
or
were pretty
elk
dang
or
big.
something.
Biggest bull moose that I've seen in years, Jenny and I, this last spring. We filmed a big old bull. Oh, since I brought it up, I'll include that bull moose at the end of this.
Yeah, that's a small little avalanche right there.
It's a small little slide that happened right there.
Well, probably caused by a skier. The snow's not as deep as I thought it would be. Yeah, they shut this canyon down last week because of the snow and an avalanche. So, I was expecting it to be a little deeper.
We got a lot of melt off.
Yeah, it was it was almost 50 degrees last week.
We actually hit 60.
We hit 60 down in the valley.
65, 66 in Salt Lake.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which was a record by quite a few degrees.
Yeah, because the week before it was like 30 degrees.
They actually, on that exact same day, they gave us a spread of what the coldest it's been and what the warmest it's been, because it hit the 66, and the coldest was negative 33 on the exact same day. You know, it was like 100 years ago.
Should be easy to pick out where these avalanches happen. There should be giant snowbanks on either side that they had to
I thought it was actually further off.
I thought so too.
Where Beaver Mountain is. After you turned off to Beaver Mountain, I thought it had happened.
We're getting close to Tony's Grove, and then after Tony's Grove's Beaver Mountain. So in January, they had to shut this canyon down once because of an avalanche, and then they had to do it again in February. Last week. I'd like to point out for people that think Bigfoot may migrate, there's a lot of wintertime sightings here with deep snow. Like the episode that Finding Bigfoot did, that was a plow driver in a year that we had a lot of snow, and a Bigfoot goes running across the road in front of him, and you know, I mean, why isn't that Bigfoot migrating?
Or hibernating.
Right, so
yeah, there's a big debate whether people think they hibernate or they don't hibernate.
And there's a lot of people that say they migrate. Well, they seem to be fine with the snow.
My 2 cents is they're just a lot more docile. Like they mellow out, they hunker down a lot more, but they're still very much active.
Yeah, snow's getting deeper.
We're getting quite a bit higher up on the mountain. Oh, it's 7,000 feet. Probably.
Click that car right there and it'll tell you. Click the actual car. Yeah. And it should give you an elevation.
6,200. Tony Grove, hang a left right there.
That's Tony's right here?
It's Tony Grove right here.
Yes, it is. Beautiful lake back up in there. some campgrounds and stuff.
Multiple lakes. You just have to hike to get to the rest of them.
Yeah.
The one that you have to hike to, that bowl back up in there, has recorded the lowest wintertime temperature in Utah. It's got the record. And in the summertime, it's just like the wintertime. It's 20 degrees cooler than anywhere else. So I'm thinking that's why there's probably a lot of Bigfoot sightings around the area. I have a theory that Bigfoot likes it cold, kind of like a polar bear.
It's like what, negative 56 degrees?
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah. So I think in the summertime it would be a great spot for the Bigfoot to go to cool down in a really warm summer.
We should hike back in there. We've never hiked back in there.
It's been on our bucket list for a couple of years. We just haven't made it happen yet. We have so much going on. We always have like a year of Bigfoot expeditions planned out. You know, what you guys are seeing on camera, we've usually planned it a year in advance. And so we're like, well, just watching our videos, you see we're just spread all different directions and stuff. I mean, we do have a base local areas that we hit a lot, but we also neglect some local areas because we're just chasing Bigfoot everywhere. So it's been on our bucket list. We're gonna eventually hike to that bowl that records the lowest temperature in Utah.
Coming up on the place where the plow driver saw the Bigfoot run across the road here
Up here on this bend, isn't it?
right up on the bend, right where we passed the sign that says Franklin Basin is right where it ran across the road.
Yeah, we'll see if we can point out the exact spot for you guys where it crossed the road.
Here's some 6-foot snowbanks. A little deeper up here.
Yeah, these are about 6 foot, aren't they? Oh, here's the Franklin Basin sign, I believe. Franklin Basin, yep, the Bigfoot crossed right about here.
There it is.
Crossed the road and jumped over the railing over here in front of a plow truck that he very well could have ran that Bigfoot over if things were just changed by seconds. The Bigfoot was a little bit later, or he was a little bit sooner, because he caught that Bigfoot by surprise.
These guys are having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get one, Derek.
Some of those guys have GoPros on their helmets.
We're too scared to, I mean, it's not safe to go out.
You gotta have multiple machines. You don't want to go back with a single machine.
No.
Especially the places we want to go back into. We're talking places that are 15, 30 miles in. If we do if we go from Ant Flats to where we keep our cameras up on Monte Cristo, that's like a 35-mile ride one way.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
It would be absolutely fun, but also a little bit sketchy. Best be prepared
to be sleeping in the snow.
I know people do it because last year we captured someone on a snowmobile going past our camera.
Yeah, there are.
You got to be pretty comfortable with your machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone was pointing out the fact that they could have come in from the other side, and I pointed out the fact that it's about the same distance from the other side anyway. Either direction they come in, they were a long ways in there.
Snowshoes and the time to be able to pack your butt back out of there if you get stuck.
And you got to bring something if you get stranded, or you can have shelter, fire.
I think closest, safest way is in from Randolph.
Yeah, probably.
To where all the springs are up on top.
God, that's a tough call.
I know, it's about 6s.
It's actually a less of a drive for us if we parked at Ant Flats instead of driving all the way around. We'd have to go to Evanston to get to Randolph this time of year because they closed the pass.
Or we could go up through where we're going
You
now.
could get up to the gate. You could get up to the gates and go from there.
We could get to Randolph from right here.
Yeah, if you know the way.
Yeah, you just go through Lake.
There's backcountry skiers.
Yep. They just came down off
Yeah,
the
you
mountain.
just saw where they had come down up off the mountain back there.
Backside of Beaver right here.
Love to give you a ride, but we don't have any
Can't
room.
fit you, buddy. You wanna hang on to the bumper?
There's 3 of us in camera equipment.
You're going to be coming off the backside of this. You better have a ride back up. That's all I got to say. That's funny.
I still haven't recognized the avalanche across the road yet.
I think it's up past,
It'll be up here.
you know, where the
The lodge?
Because you're turning off to the lodge up here, aren't you?
where the hill,
Real close.
where the hill's really super steep, coming down right before you get to the lodge. I bet that's where it was at.
Wow. This is the deepest I've seen the snow in the 20-something years I've been making this drive up the canyon in the winter.
Really?
Yeah, this is the deepest I've seen it right through
There's
here.
the turn off to go to Beaver Creek.
I
over there.
remember going up just to Powder Mountain, not clear up here. Just going to Powder Mountain back in about 5th grade. Jumped on the bus. You picked up a bus in Ogden, and it took you up to Powder Mountain, dropped you off for skiing for the day. And I remember sitting on that bus, and the the banks on the side of the road were about 2 feet above the roof of the bus. And it was just cut out. It was just nothing but road.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the deepest I have ever seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it pretty deep. Probably not that deep at Powder, but I've seen the snow deeper at Powder than it is right here. But this is the deepest I've seen it anytime I've driven through this canyon.
I bet this is where it happened, is along this.
Yeah, this looks like avalanche
Well, they
stuff.
actually said, because they were stuck there, and they said if you wanted to get off the mountain, you had to go out and around, and you had to come up here and go to Garden City and out and around.
Yeah.
Which
so-
means you would have had to go all the way out to Evanston and back and around just to get there, or vice versa. Because whether or not you could get up over 36 and past the
Yeah, see,
444.
this side of the mountain over here makes me nervous. The left side.
Yeah.
Because it's just deep.
So I honestly don't think it actually blocked this road. I think it blocked after you turned left to head up back there to Beaver Mountain. I think it was that road that was actually blocked.
Oh.
Emigration Canyon from Bear Lake to Preston. That gets closed down a lot. I haven't heard of road closures there.
Canyon too?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's also an emigration. Yeah, it's
Immigration Canyon.
it's Idaho.
Gotta make.
It's Idaho's emigration canyon.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's a different emigration canyon in Utah.
I hope it's not closed today. We'll be turning around and coming back.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
want to take you guys over Emigration Canyon because there's like 4 or 5 Bigfoot sightings that happen along there too. We're kind of we're taking you guys on a tour of Bigfoot sightings when we do these dirt road drives or these Bigfoot Roundtable drives. We're doing them because we're in a Bigfoot country. This summit that we're coming up on, there was a Bigfoot sighting by a deer hunter up here. I did the Bigfoot sighting report several winters ago, so what the heck's the name of this summit up here? Can't remember. We'll see some signs coming up. that tree line up here. He had his Bigfoot sighting while he was deer hunting up along that tree line.
Oh, I believe it. There's nothing back there but forest.
Yeah, and after he saw it went in the trees and hid from him and started growling at him, man. That's 2 deer hunters in Utah that I've heard the Bigfoot hide from him and start growling. And both of them thought, yep, it's time to call it a day. I've been back on Swan Flats. Well, this turned out to be a nice day.
Yeah, they said it was supposed to be storming on us pretty hard. And I think we bypassed it. They said Saturday, though. They said Saturday.
I saw the precipitation was supposed to happen in the AM. So any precipitation should have happened before noon.
Well, I'm glad it's sunny.
Absolutely.
I needed some sun. I was starting to get in a funk. Gotta have some sunshine or I just don't feel right. Yeah, it's just been pretty much gray, overcast, raining, snowing days for the last month, it feels like.
Oh. You see them turf it?
Yeah. There's a bunch of sledders over on them.
I'll turn the camera towards them.
Yeah. And standing there on the right just took a pretty good turf. Too bad you guys missed it. That's funny.
There's the sled field.
Anybody that hasn't been to Utah, it's a great tourist place. We have more than Bigfoot here. We have skiing, boating, camping.
You name it.
Yep. The only thing that we don't have is salty ocean waves. Well, we got the Great Salt Lake.
The Great Salt Lake, man.
I'm not going to say anything bad about the Great Salt Lake, but it's not the ocean.
It is not.
It's a novelty. Let's just say that. It's a novelty.
Deadest body of water on the planet. Even more than the Dead Sea. Because the Dead Sea has freshwater springs that come up out of the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And there's life that lives down there.
Well, we have brine shrimp and
brine shrimp, but it's still the deadest body of water.
And some type of sand flies.
All those
Nice
things
funk.
are nasty. Little biting gnats. Little thing. Little bastards.
Well, the island out in the middle of there, Antelope Island, it's full of buffalo and giant deer. There's some big old bucks
mule
out there. There's antelope.
Well, we just went over the summit and it didn't have,
The name?
well, it was covered in
Buried.
snow.
Buried in.
Oh yeah, the signs are buried. Sorry, can't tell you the name of the summit because we forgot.
But you are about to get one of the prettiest sights around.
We're gonna come
As soon
up
as
over
we
the hill.
tip over the top of this and you see Bear Lake,
Yep.
it is a beautiful, and it's going to be even great today.
Yeah, we picked a good day to do this. A nice clear day where you guys can take in all the sights of Utah and Idaho. Yeah, we're getting close to crossing over into Idaho. Half of Bear Lake's in Utah, half of it's in Idaho, and we're coming in from the Utah side.
Sunrise. Is it sunrise? Sunrise summit?
Yeah.
Sunrise, yep.
Sunrise summit.
Sunrise summit's where that hunter
Here's that view I was
Wow.
talking about.
saw.
Beautiful lake.
Oh, there's some ice on the lake.
Well, absolutely. kidding me?
It's a big body of water. It doesn't freeze a lot of years.
Well, a lot of it freezes, just not necessarily the whole thing.
Beautiful. Hope the camera does that lake justice.
Cameras never do scenery justice.
No. A lot of times I'll be putting these videos together and I'm like, wow, that was just so cool. And I mean, it's still cool on film, but it's just not like being there live. Cameras are getting better every year though. I'm sure one day we'll have a 4K camera. Whoa.
So,
I've never seen that much ice on the lake. Actually, I've rarely ever seen any ice on this lake. We come out here a few times every winter.
You got to keep in mind that we got hit with snow and real cold relatively early. I mean, it was really cold pre-Christmas, but
yeah.
I mean, these guys had snow up here by Thanksgiving.
yeah.
So, you know, there's been a lot of snow and a lot of extremely cold
Will you hit the
days.
back button on the GPS? Thanks. I like seeing my miles per hour on that so I don't have to look down.
It's funny. It's easier to look down than to look over.
This
At least
is
for
where
some
that
of
big
us.
bull moose came down.
Yep, that's where we filmed the big old bull moose. We'll include that at the end. That's the biggest one I've seen in a long time. With big old rack and old ornery bugger. You can tell he was ornery. Me and Jenny were ready to run at any point in time.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy. People were looking at him.
No.
They're not too happy anyway.
No, they're really
No.
not.
Yeah, animals know when they're the toughest one in their environment. And there's only a couple things tougher than a moose, and that's a healthy big grizzly and buffalo. Buffalo will kick its butt.
Definitely not a person. They're just like a little pink squish.
Pack of wolves. But even then they would guess it. They'd have to be pretty dang hungry if they're going to attack something like that.
There's a lot of wolves that specialize in moose, but they don't. They go for the smaller, the weak ones, not the big, healthy. Yeah. He had like a 6-foot rack.
Just too big of a risk to take on an animal that size.
I saw that Wyoming is sick and tired of the wolves. They're really going to open up hunting on the wolves. They really want to eradicate them from their state, except for the national parks, of course.
They're starting to wipe out the elk population, the moose, everything. They're just wiping everything out.
Yeah. Not to mention what they're taking from the ranchers and stuff. But
Well, wolves will kill just to have for fun.
mm-hmm.
They won't kill just to eat. They'll kill for fun.
Yeah, that's why they're starting to adopt a policy. If it's not in a national park, then and you got a permit, it's game. I know the Idaho, you get an Idaho wolf tag, and that gives you the right to take 15 wolves. Given you can only shoot 3 of them, the other 12 you have to trap. You just can't go fill those tags with bullets. So yeah, everybody's trying to get the wolf population under control right now, except for in the national parks. And there's a lot of wolves in Yellowstone. There's like 7 full-time packs in Yellowstone.
They're big packs.
And I know there's been different times when there was more game. I know they had up to 15 packs one time, but they've had to leave the park because they've eradicated all the elk. We've seen the moose come down and get into the lake.
Oh yeah.
Walk out there, drink, eat the water plants underneath the water. This lake's 20 miles long, and at its widest point, what is it, 7 or is it 9 miles wide? I know it's a really wide lake. And it's a natural formed lake. This isn't a reservoir.
Yep.
And there's the Bear Lake Monster. There's been a lot of
sightings.
Cryptozoology type people come searching for. As a matter of fact, Jack Osborne a couple of years ago, he come here with his Haunted Highway show, and he scuba dived to some of the deepest parts of the lake looking for the Bear Lake Monster. I always like to joke around with people that are looking for the Bear Lake Monster that you'll have a better chance of finding Bigfoot on the shores of the lake than you will a Nessie type monster. But who knows? Maybe there is a Nessie type. Here's the marina that Jack rented a boat and went out there and went looking for the Loch Ness Monster. Well, the Bear Lake version of Loch Ness Monster.
I'm gonna make it to Loch Ness one day.
I would love to go see those castles.
Absolutely.
Me too.
Gonna make it out there.
That's where we saw the 2 big moose. It was just right out there, standing up to their knees, eating vegetation out of the lake.
Very popular public beach, and there's a moose out there. A couple of moose.
There were 2 big male together, which is weird.
It's not common to see people just right out here, though.
No.
And you literally have to have...
On this side of the rental deal, you see them all the time.
You do see them over here by the rental, I guess, but...
That's it.
Yeah.
They're all huddled right here.
Typically, it's all more private. You got private roads to get down there.
I really liked all the seasons of Haunted Highway until they scrapped the show for a little while to let Jack get healthy, and then when he came back, they kind of did the same type of show, but there's always a part way through the show where the girls get separated from the guys and they scream for the guys and they come running to them, and it seems like that happened every episode. It's like Finding Bigfoot, how they scream at the end to try and get a response from the Bigfoot. Well, the girls have to get separated and get scared and scream for the guys to come running it, and it seemed to ruin it. So if you're watching this, Jack Osborne, tell those producers, yeah, we're not doing the scream where you come running thing anymore.
They're not doing the show anymore.
Oh, what did they do? Come back for one last season and end it?
No, they didn't do it at all.
Is it no longer airing at all, is what you're saying, Jen?
No, he did, the new show that he did was with his dad.
Yeah, now they're doing the history thing with Ozzy. That's right. Yeah.
That was a really good show. I really liked it.
Yes. Ozzy and his son they're good together.
Jack is a very articulate, smart young man.
He's the responsible one out of the two. Ozzy still wants to pee on the Aladome, or
He doesn't.
or the Alamo.
He never did in the first place.
It's a weird tangent to go off on.
Well, Haunted Highway, Jack's been out looking for different cryptozoology monsters and stuff, and
I watched the first season of them.
he went to Skinwalker Ranch too.
Yeah.
And Skinwalker Ridge, and we have found both. We go to Skinwalker Ranch and check out the ridge several times a year.
It's the three-toed prince with the we've got.
I've actually found one.
3 two-toed wolf footprinters, supposedly skinwalker wolf.
Or it could be one that got caught in a trap or wounded.
I'm gonna go with one that got caught in a trap.
I'm gonna go with a genetic defect.
It might be.
What's crazy is we Bigfoot all around Skinwalker Ranch, to the north of it, the west of it, and even the east of it. And there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings around there, and then you got their ranch right down there, central south. And then of course from the ranch all the way down through southern Utah into New Mexico and Arizona is all skinwalker country too. But for some reason that ranch out there is one of the most famous spots for the skinwalker territories, and and we just laugh how all of our favorite Bigfooting spots are all around that ranch.
God, it's a massive house.
Yeah, it is.
That little lodge, just the big circle of,
Oh yeah, that's bizarre.
just like a sandbar or something. The elevator. I love this lake.
Derek comes out here in boats every year.
Love this lake. Love the area.
Yeah, doesn't your whole family come out here for like a week around the 4th of July?
Yeah. We used to come out here every year. Right there in the middle of the road.
Oh.
Any of your family seen the Bear Lake Monster?
No,
little
can't
deer.
say that they have. He's just a little guy.
Oh.
Little doe.
I don't know anybody personally that's seen the Bear Lake Monster.
No.
The only thing that I've heard of about this lake is I've heard the account of several people that have seen UFOs at this lake that go under the water and come out of the water. Those
I
are
personally know 2 people who have seen one here.
me too, and it's probably the same people.
They said the colors of
The UFO
object
Uh-huh.
were rainbow colored. Red, yellow, green, blue. Just every light, every
another
color you could
big
think of
house.
was on that craft. And it just came right up out of the lake. I can't even imagine seeing something like that.
Nope. Oh yeah. I know some of the people you're talking about that seen it come out of the lake. They're pretty close to family members.
They are family members.
Bare bottoms. Fish Haven.
We're on the Idaho side of the lake right now.
On the left-hand side, which is the west side of the lake,
That's our local Amityville right there. That's one scary ass place if you ask me. It is a cool looking old house.
Yeah, it is.
Run down. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Sorry, people.
the west side, like St. Charles, Bloomington, Montpelier, all the places you just saw on that sign, on the west side of those places, is just chock full of Bigfoot sightings. You got the Bloody Bucket, you got the Strawberry Creek, you got Birch Road, Beaver Creek. There's even been Bigfoot sightings up Minnetonka Cave. Matter of fact,
We're just coming up to that.
when we pass Minnetonka Cave, that canyon, from where the camping spots start all the way up to the cave, there's 3 Bigfoot sightings that I know of that have been officially reported.
That's where we filmed that trackway in the snow.
Yeah,
last
that was
year.
way up on that side hill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that is exactly where
I
we were.
forgot about that. That's right. We couldn't get close enough. It was across the river and up on the mountain. Jenny was zooming in with one of our better cameras, and so we couldn't get close enough to see the detail. But
has that been released yet?
Yeah.
Hey, there's like 10 deer down there.
They're on a sighting report video. I think the sighting report video has St. Charles Canyon in the title. It's probably called St. Charles Bigfoot sighting, somewhere along the lines.
Probably.
Bigfoot people don't believe in a lake monster. We think that's silly. Just kidding.
I don't know if I necessarily think it's all that silly. I mean, you just don't know. First and foremost, I just got to throw coelacanth. You know, that right there was, you know, a fish that supposedly had gone extinct millions and millions and millions of years ago. And, you know, early 1900s, somebody pulled up one out of, you know, somebody pulled one up, you know, and obviously it still exists. We don't know exactly what it could be. Could be a sturgeon, could be almost anything. I mean, you just don't really know. I'm not going to rule anything out.
Yeah, how about those giant oar type fish that look like a long serpent type dragon, you know? They're finding, and it's a deep sea fish, and they're like
shark or something like that. Isn't it a type of shark? I don't know what that is.
I don't know. It just looks like it looks like a long serpent that they.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking of the goblin shark is what I was thinking of. But I know what you're talking about.
You know, people that have talked about seeing these giant sea serpents and stuff, and it wasn't up until recently that they actually officially were able to document them.
The only ones that they come across had actually floated up and had passed away, died, something like that.
Yeah.
People didn't believe in big squid either.
Big what?
Giant squid.
Oh yeah.
They exist.
Now they
The Kraken.
Yeah.
Yep, and at the end of this year, a new gecko got put on a species list. Gecko with giant scales, and it loses its skin and scales when it gets attacked. You know how most lizards lose their tail? Well, this thing loses its skin.
This is a pretty cool house up here on the left right here too. Watch them build this.
Pretty.
Yeah. That's a pretty house.
We're down in the valley by the lake. Lake's 20 miles long, so we still have lake on the right, and then on the left is all the mountains. There's all types of mountain canyons to our left, and we've camped all over them because of the Bigfoot sightings. At the end of the lake, before we start going up Emigration Canyon, we got a Bigfoot sighting report last year or the year before out of the town called Ovid. Guy works in a little warehouse factory there, and during the night shift something would pound on the walls and stuff, and eventually they got a glimpse of it and saw some of the footprints, and they got a hold of us saying, hey, we think a Bigfoot comes out here, you know. So we've come and poked around up here, and you know, the Bigfoot's pretty much coming down into these types of areas. It's about got the same type of population as this in Ovid, and you'll see it when we go through Ovid. But right now we're at St. Charles. That was St. Charles Creek, and the road follows the creek back all the way up to Minnetonka Cave, and a 4-year-old little boy had a really strange Bigfoot sighting at the cave. And then down further in the canyon, 2 couples at night, both guys staying awake longer than their girlfriend, saw a Bigfoot watching them. They were just camped out under the stars. And then a lineman worker back there running or repairing high tension wire stuff, whatever. He was up on the pole and spotted a Bigfoot.
This is your Minnetonka Cave turnoff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not that it matters, but that's where it was.
So yeah, a utility worker linesman saw one, a pair of couples, and the 4-year-old little kid. And the 4-year-old little kid is my favorite because of how all that played out. He got lost right after the family went on a tour of the cave, and they ended up having to get 2 search parties looking for the little boy.
Paris is that town I was thinking about. Paris.
Paris.
Yeah, I was thinking that there was one there, but I could be wrong. Random off the wall, sorry.
The little boy had been lost for a while, 2 search parties, and they had, one of the search parties heard a loud, shrill whistle and directed him in the direction, and they found the little boy. And he got reunited with his dad. I believe his dad was in the search party that found him, and heading back to the cave and letting everybody know that they found the little boy. His dad knew the little boy didn't know how to whistle, and his kid didn't have a whistle, and he's like, "How did you whistle?" And he says, "It was the nice big hairy man whistled for me." And and he sat there and told his dad that this big, nice, hairy man stayed with him the whole time he was lost. And when one of the search parties got close to him, it whistled, and as the search party come towards the little boy, the nice, big, hairy man ran off. Well, one of the guys in the search party overheard it and stuff, and he reported the Bigfoot sighting, and investigators had gotten with the dad, and the dad wants nothing to do with it. He's said, "My boy's making that stuff up. That didn't happen." So the dad refuses to believe that happened. But one of the people there that turned in the report, listening to the little boy say it right after they found him, he thinks there's something to it. Maybe it was a Bigfoot back there that hung out with the little boy till he got rescued. Minnetonka Cave Canyon, St. Charles Canyon, it meets up with a Green Canyon, and then Green Canyon goes back and meets up with Beaver Creek. Back there, the junction between Paris Canyon, Green Canyon, and Beaver Creek. That's where Jenny and I heard screams one of the 2 nights. Yeah, 2 nights in a row about the same time, between midnight, 1 in the morning.
Look at all the willows too, everywhere around, all out here. A little creek that runs in and out all of it. And I just mentioned the willows because so many sightings that we've known of, so many that get reported that they're down in the willows.
It's a good place to walk along. These willows get real tall.
Yeah.
Both of the Bloody Bucket Bigfoot sightings happened down in the willows. Well, they've seen 3 Bigfoot hanging out together, all in the willows, both separate Bigfoot sightings.
Mike's nephew.
Yeah.
Was down in the willows.
Yep.
Yep, and 10 years before, in the same area,
The same time of year.
Same time of year, some people camping back there, a group of them, and one of the guys went in the willows to pee and come face to face with the Bigfoot, and it's the same deal. The Bigfoot had to have been there observing them having their fire and what you do around your campsite. So yeah, 10 years before, Bigfoot was observing them. Guy goes out to pee in the willows, comes face to face, and then 10 years later, Casey, he goes down into the willows to get some sticks to make some marshmallow burners, you know.
So if you want to up your chances of seeing a Squatch, the point is, pee in the willows.
Point is act like a normal camper. Don't go up smacking the trees and screaming into the woods. I think the best, if you're going to vocalize and do the wood knocks, your last night when you're just feeling desperate because you haven't found a hide nor a hair of anything Bigfooty footprints, and you know 99% of the time that's what it's going to be like. So last night in desperation, do it. But yeah, man, don't start out your Bigfoot expedition for anybody that's new, or just don't start out the first night with wood knocks and screaming. That's just going to scare them into the next county if they're around. You know, you might get a response, but it's going to give it the willies that another species, especially a man they don't trust, is trying to make the same type of noises as them. It's right away saying, I know you're there. It makes you feel hunted, in my opinion. I know everybody, there's people that, oh yeah, it works. We've saw a Bigfoot after we done that, you know. But hell, the very last night, when you have nothing to lose, because you're going home the next morning, yeah, scream and bang trees. Paris Canyon, off to our left, there's the Paris Ice Caves back there. And once you get past those ice caves, it turns into nothing but four-wheeler trails. And Jenny took us in her Saturn SUV, her View. She took us down one of those four-wheeler trails. And halfway down, we couldn't turn around. We were stuck having to follow it all the way through. You just couldn't turn around. I mean, it was scary. And I was having to get out in front of the vehicle and help her put her wheels on rocks and shrubs and stuff to get down that trail. And that Saturn Views do have some pretty good clearance, you know, for a small SUV, I think. But
not enough to
anyway, halfway down, a bunch of guys on motorcycles and four-wheelers, they got to a spot where they could get around us, and the very last one stops at Jenny's door. Jenny's window's open, and he goes, you know you're on a four-wheeler trail.
Right through the middle of the field.
I didn't see it.
And Jenny's like, yeah, I know. And he's like, if I was you, I'd turn around. And we're looking at him like, yeah, where? And he's like, oh, yeah, you guys are stuck on this till the end, aren't you? Like, yeah. But Jenny's a good driver. I was passenger. I didn't know that it was gonna turn to just four-wheeler with no possible way to ever turn back. We're coming up on Ovid. Most recent Bigfoot sighting in this valley that I know of, 3 more miles, is in Ovid. This is the last Bigfoot sighting reported. Doesn't mean it's the last one that's happened. You've had a Bigfoot sighting anywhere, please give us a hold of us. We'd like to hear about your Bigfoot sighting. We love to travel to these places. And when we find great places to camp and hike around, we stay there for 3 days a week and really look hard for Bigfoot. We've done a lot of Bigfooting here. nice day.
It is. I hope we can get up over immigration.
You guys haven't seen Brody in a while. He moved to Denver, Colorado. He was living in Texas.
Before that, it was Oregon.
Yeah, so we've only hooked up with him a couple of times in the last couple of years, but now that he's living in Denver, we'll probably hook up with him once or twice, hopefully more this year on some expeditions.
Yeah, I was talking to him the other day, telling him that we needed to meet up halfway.
Brody's got a lot of good places because he's spent a lot of times in some of the places we like. God, for the longest time, he felt like our guide in the Uintas.
Yeah,
He got us.
absolutely.
He got us into some great places where there's Bigfoot sightings, and he's one of the people that has helped us find some of the best structure areas back in there.
It would be good to have him around again, for sure. And I'm sure Jen feels that way.
I miss my brother.
It's a cool old house, man.
I want to brag about team members. I already bragged at Derek, our scientist. His actual title's computer scientist, and Brody. Brody now works on space rovers and satellites. I was just telling Derek, at least I have video evidence of the ninja guy. Jenny and I went back through the film. When we put it out, it is called, where the heck were we? I think it's the Wallowa. Yeah, it's the Wallowa Mountain Bigfoot Roundtable Drive, I think's the name of it. We haven't put it out yet, but we'll put it out, and before or after this, you guys just watch for it. But a ninja crossed the road in front of us, and the camera was off, and I got the camera on just as he got in the burrow pit. I stop and slow that section down a couple of times so you can see that ninja with the sword standing there. It's actually a machete.
It's a doorknob in a suit.
But what I was saying is nobody would believe the story. We're out in the middle of Wallowa Mountains and Hell's Canyon, out in the middle of nowhere, and a dark figure runs across the road with the domed head, Bigfoot shaped and everything, and we got closer, and he had a machete, and he had the white crazy looking mask that the Japanimation ninjas wear or whatever. But yeah, we got video evidence of him on the side of the road and 2 witnesses, so everybody's gonna have to buy our story about the ninja. Woo! Cattle smell area.
That's in the winter. Imagine it in the summer.
Yeah, it gets pretty ripe around here.
Yeah.
I grew up on a farm. I actually like those smells. Not too much
Slow down. Yeah.
sewage
Get over.
methane.
Yeah, definitely
I'm
get
slowing down.
over. It's more about getting over as much as slowing down.
Pretty.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a lot of information.
Cool. This canyon we're getting ready to come up.
Big Clydesdales.
I was gonna say, Clydesdales are big old Belgians.
Yeah, they're big.
Big horses.
War horse.
On the right side of the freeway, there's like a National Guard station where they come and train or whatever. And one of the guys in the 70s had a Bigfoot sighting during operations back there. He reported it after he retired. And then on the left side, not too far off the road, off this main road, there's 2 more Bigfoot sightings up near the Strawberry Springs area. Both those Bigfoot sightings were 10 years apart, but they were pretty much in the same spot. Police officer 10 years prior, he got stuck back there and just spent the night in his truck. He was off duty. Had a Bigfoot come up to his truck and check him out at night and smell where he peed, and peed right on where he peed before it walked off. And then he stayed awake the whole night. You know, he decided, you know, it was dark. He was going to stay the night and dig himself out in the morning. And yeah, he didn't sleep at all after that Bigfoot come up to his truck. And then 10 years later, a couple of guys up hunting, them and their 2 dogs, they camped out on that same dirt road, and they had a Bigfoot chase their dog back to camp and pace around and intimidate everybody for a little while. Then also on the right side is the Bloody Bucket. You get back in there on the right side far enough, and that's the Bloody Bucket area.
The road up here on your right, if you follow it back far enough, you pop out in Soda.
Yes, we did take that to Soda Springs one year Bigfooting, didn't we?
We weren't quite sure where we were going to pop out, but that's where we did.
We were on a scouting mission for campsites back here that day to come back and camp the area.
Another stupid drive that we shouldn't have done in my view.
Yeah. It'd have been rough in my Jeep.
I killed it.
Yes, you stunt drove that car.
I've taken my little cobalt in a few places I should not have.
I do have to give you one piece of defense on beating up your vehicle, Jenny. Brody owned it before you, and Brody's was into gold hunting.
Yeah, it was already a little rattly before I got it.
Yes, I just remember when we first got it, I just remember how sloppy the front end on that was. I'm like, wow. It got off-roaded probably more than it rode on paved roads.
Ah, look at them.
Wow, big horses.
Big horses. Big horses.
This section is where the snow is really going to get deep. This canyon is known for getting shut down a lot. As a matter of fact, they have electronic gates on either side to make it a lot easier for them to shut this thing down because of snow.
But sometimes it gets down to 1 lane because they haven't cleared it.
And it usually takes up until June or the middle of June for all the snow to melt off in this canyon. I think this is going to be a year where high elevations, we probably won't be able to get into places till July, like Monte Cristo. I don't think we're going to be able to get back to our cameras until July.
No, the first, it's going to take till July.
And the Hyuenas, They probably won't start opening up places up there till July.
There'll be snow all year long in the UNS this year.
Yeah, we're
into August.
gonna have some glaciers going on this year.
Yeah.
That'll last into next year.
But it just makes it nicer up there.
Well, at least it won't be a fire year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say that, and then we'll have.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. No, this isn't a fire year.
Speaking of gate.
Yeah, that's the gate.
Uh-oh. All these people parked down here. It might be closed.
Oh, man.
No, I bet you they're snowmobilers.
Okay.
They have had a lot of flooding though, so you never really know.
Yeah. Camp Bartlett on that direction. 4 miles direction. That direction is where that Bigfoot sighting was by the military guy. It was more than just him that saw it too. There was like 10 of them that saw it. He's the only one really willing to talk about it though,
You ever been back in there?
and he waited till he
Yeah,
retired.
that's where we
Yes,
drove on a dirt road and it hooked up with soda.
we went.
Right back in there.
We went back there as far as we could go one direction, and then there was another road that took us all the way back to Soda Springs.
I didn't realize that went all the way back that far.
Yeah, you don't want to drive on that one unless you're in your Suburban.
Yeah.
You need clearance vehicle for that one.
Hurry up! Hurry! Hurry!
Yeah, we're not in a hurry. We're looking for Bigfoot. The snow gives a great opportunity to see footprints and stuff. Derek's already saw some good looking footprints down in the valley. We didn't get close enough to identify them, but
It's bipedal in the middle of nowhere.
Wow, that's some deep snow.
Yes. This could absolutely be
Avalanche.
avalanche.
yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, the stretch where the police officer and then the 2 hunters and their dogs over a 10-year period had Bigfoot sightings. Jenny and I have camped exactly where they have had their Bigfoot sightings. And you know how I just went on a tangent earlier saying don't do vocalizations unless you're desperate on the last night. Yeah, we vocalized the very first night we were there. We didn't care. So we didn't have any luck back in there, and that's learning experience. Doesn't mean they're there. Just because they've been seen there and blah, 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 blah. I think they're really rare.
They're here.
Well, I think all the Bigfoot sightings in the area, you know, it's not a different Bigfoot each time. A lot of these Bigfoot sightings that we're telling you guys about that have happened in this area, you know, a lot of them are the same Bigfoot, I'm sure.
Holy cow.
More than just the sightings that you're talking about.
How deep do you think this
You're looking at 10 foot.
10 feet of
10
snow
foot.
on this. Oh my gosh, it is thick in here.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
But it's this is the snap off aspen area
Yeah, it is.
up
Grove.
here, which I have actually found freshly brandy new snap offs and footprints.
Yeah.
But it is a place we need to actually get back into, and
Did you camp on the Strawberry Dill?
I never actually camped there. I was never in a situation I could camp there.
You've been there though.
I've
yeah.
been there. I've been there multiple times.
Yeah, I've been there
I
once.
take this
You've been there
drive quite a few times.
You went there once with me when we were headed to Yellowstone or Palisades or something. You met us up here, or followed us up here.
Followed to find out exactly where it was the first time.
Oh, you were going to fly the drone there.
I was going to fly the drone, and
Yeah.
I've yet to be able to get the drone up in the sky. It started raining. I didn't want to put it up at that point. But I do want to get some game cams up here. Because we've yet to leave one up here.
Yeah, I left one up here for a couple of months. 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I left it up for 2 or 3 months, and then I moved it. But yeah, you're right. We do need one up here. I wasn't in a situation at that point in time just leave game cameras behind permanently. So
I think I'll bring mine up here. Let's find a good place for it, and I'll just leave mine up here permanently.
Yeah, there's a couple of good places up here.
But when I found the footprints, I was up here with Shelly and the kids.
Yeah, you put out a video, I believe, of that.
Yes, I did.
Where you guys found some footprints in the territorial grove of aspens.
Yep. And a good snap off that was about 13, 14 feet up.
Yeah, there's a whole acre of snap-offs back in there, of dozens of them. And they're aspens. Aspens usually don't break a snow load because there's nowhere for the snow to hang out. If you'll notice, the aspens lose their leaves first in the season and they get them last. So that is to prevent breaking from snow load. So they've adapted that's their little niche in life. So the next thing you got to blame is wind, and the next thing is physical destruction. Dr. Bindernagel, when I met him, he told me he's into the study and he's most interested in snap-offs and structures, any type of because the great apes do that. So he wants to find out if Bigfoot's actually manipulating this stuff. So I should really be a lot better at emailing these guys pictures and stuff than I am. I have sent physical evidence out to different people that have requested for it, a lot of professionals and stuff, but I should really be sending, I know that's what he's into. I should be sending him photos of snap-offs and structures that we find. Thing is, though, is I told him on the home page of our website, we've got a ton of them. Go check that out. I gave him our website. Yeah, Derek put a lot of structures and snap-offs on the home page.
Gosh, it's deep.
www.rmso.net. But if you can get on any of our media sites, they're all connected. Anything you're on will have a tab for the web page or the blog. But that's about the only place that we have photos is on our website. Everything else you're finding in our videos.
Well, you put all your photos in the, like game cam photos and all that stuff. They're just embedded in our videos.
Yeah, we got photos in. We have photos in every video pretty much. There's very few videos that we haven't put photos in. We like taking photos because photos take a lot more clarity. You're taking a photo at like 16 megapixel, and out of a video shoots at like 2 megapixel.
You see all the ice crystals in the trees?
Yeah.
Wow, the snow's deep here.
It's way deep.
Holy crap.
This is the deepest snow I've seen all year.
Yeah, it's way deep.
Even up here in the places where it's not as deep as hell.
Yeah,
that back there was like 15-foot snowbanks.
ton of snow. all the snowmobile has been up on this left-hand side. I saw nothing on this.
This looks like avalanche stuff over here.
Yeah, people aren't gonna.
Yeah, and you're gonna want to avoid it because this right side is
Avalanche.
really dangerous.
That's the steep, scary stuff.
Really dangerous.
Without any tree cover.
And then you got some crazies that went right up the face of that.
Once.
Went up and back down. Said,
That's it.
He's like, that wasn't a good idea.
And then here I say that, and then all these guys are off on the right. And there's some areas.
This is a better stretch. There's Mink Creek.
Mink Creek.
God, you can barely see the sign over the snow. The bottoms of those signs are like 8 feet tall.
Beautiful country.
Wow, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I love this canyon too. One of my favorite drives is this little loop.
We're really close to where the police officer and the two hunters had their 2 different Bigfoot sightings. And
that was Strawberry.
Right up on the top. Yeah, Strawberry's up here a little ways. So pretty much on the top, close to the top. Wow. That's just beautiful.
Absolutely.
We come here through here a lot, but such a contrast with the snow on the evergreens and whoa. I told Mike we had an extra room at the cabin. Him and Shannon should come chase the Mongolian monster with this. I doubt he's gonna come. I think he wants to go to salmon later in the year. He's requested twice for us to do a salmon Bigfoot expedition because he likes that area.
Salmon's gorgeous, man.
Yeah, let's go there.
Salmon is a beautiful place. I have no problem going to Salmon.
Yeah, but we're still gonna go to do the Mongolian Rim. We already have a cabin rented out.
Absolutely. God, we got beautiful hometowns, home country.
Wow.
I love where we live, dude.
Right in the middle of it all.
You agree though, Jen?
Yeah.
I absolutely love where we live. We're spoiled in that sense.
Yeah, this is close enough to where we live that we consider this a home research territory. We're not researchers, I guess search. A home Bigfoot search territory.
It only takes a couple hours for us to get out here.
I can get here in 90 minutes if I'm serious about it. Yeah, 2 hours.
2 hours.
Well, Jenny and I have gotten off on a Friday and went and set up camp up at Beaver Creek, and we've also done it at the Bloody Bucket. So they're places that we can get to after work at night and spend the weekend or however long.
I'd probably go up Monty more often if it wasn't for the mosquitoes.
Yeah, that's my favorite place. It's just too infested with mosquitoes because of all those springs.
Well, what you got to do is you got to camp there right after you can first get in because it's still cold enough the mosquitoes haven't come out. And then when it does finally start warming up in there, the mosquitoes come out for a month or two until it gets cold again in August and kills the skeeters off. So what sucks is there's such a short season up there, and in a month or two of it's nothing but mosquitoes. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Bigfoot probably don't
like that time of the year.
Yeah.
Nobody likes mosquitoes.
Because of them bugs.
Nothing likes
They
mosquitoes.
bug you.
Yucky.
Studies have shown that Bigfoot are where the elk are during the same time of year. They kind of follow the elk herds in this study, and elk stay away from mosquitoes. They're in an area with bad mosquitoes. They'll go up high where it's cool, and they like to find wind because mosquitoes hate wind.
I've actually seen a mosquito already this year.
We've seen a wasp already too.
Oh, crazy.
We killed a wasp in our house this week. Warmed up enough that he come out. Weird. Derek got us doing these driving roundtables. You know, we have our podcast show. We have our roundtables where we just sit in front of a camera and have discussions. And he got us first start in these, and it totally makes sense. Well, we're in a Bigfoot area. We might as well have a camera going, and then we'll do one of our Bigfoot shows.
Yeah, it's we'd always on the way to Bigfoot talk about Bigfoot, have all these discussions, and it was wasted.
Because yeah, when we're going through Bigfoot areas, we are planning and talking about the sightings, and you know, and if we're sitting there on a podcast talking about all that, you know, now you guys, we take you out there and say, hey, you know, over here on the left, blah 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 blah, you guys get to go on a Bigfoot tour.
Instead of see the celebrities' homes, you get to see the sighting locations.
Well, and we always go to the exact locations and camp and hike around, and we take you guys with us on those. But when we're driving to and from those places and doing scouting, we might as well have a camera going, and you guys can hear our Bigfoot conversations. See the Bigfoot area. Odds are, if you look at the odds of Bigfoot sighting reports, over 50% of Bigfoot sighting reports is a road crossing. And actually probably a lot more than 50%. But I'm talking when you separate them up into categories.
More people are on the road than in the woods.
Yeah, chances are it's a road crossing, so we might as well have a camera going. We even try to have a camera going at night on the dash. So if it's close enough to those headlights, you'll get it.
There's my favorite little pad right there.
Yeah, it is a cool little pad.
Wow. There's a lot of runoff through here. I always wonder how many of these residents down here have had sightings. In my opinion, it's only a very small percentage of sightings that get reported. So if you have 12 sightings reports that come out of the area, what is it? Is it another 100 people that have seen it that didn't talk about it? Is another 500?
No.
Well, let's put it this way. Up on Monte Cristo, out of the 7 people that I know personally that saw Bigfoot up there, there's 2 people that have had Bigfoot sightings up there that have reported it, and the 7 I know personally haven't. It's reported now because I've gone and blogged it and made a video, so, but up until I put it out there, or we did.
Oh, there's so many trackways coming out of those mountains, but you can't tell what they are.
Jenny and Derek are breaking their necks looking at actual footprints.
It's the ones that just stick out, you know?
Yeah, the ones that
that are odd.
that come just
out of
straight
place.
out of the mountains.
Single trackway, nothing else with them.
Yep.
So it wasn't 3 or 4 deer, or
No.
you know, it was just one single animal.
There was one set back there that
It was really odd that went
Yeah,
up
did you
over
see-
top of that fence.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I
saw that too?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was very bizarre.
Yes. That one stuck out really. I mean, seems kind of odd, you know, that you're out here, but it stuck out. But there's no way we could have got to that.
No, we would have had to
Would have been up to
trespassing, and we would have been in snow over our head.
Yeah.
We just left the area that we can publicly hike. We're now all into private stuff.
It's farming.
Uh-huh. It's a bunch of ranches and farms.
And one of the coolest little towns you'll ever see.
The Mink Creek town.
Yep.
You can get over into Franklin Basin, where we mentioned at the very beginning of the video, from right here
From
on
Birch.
the dirt road.
Birch Creek.
Yep. And we've done that drive.
And don't drive on Birch Creek in the rain.
No.
It's the most terrifying drive I've ever had.
But
Worse than American Fork?
no.
Well, it was pretty bad. We slid probably 40, 50 feet. Not because we were skidding. We were not even doing 5 miles an hour, and we just started sliding down.
Just flat.
And it had a bend that kind of went off down a small cliff into the trees, and I thought we were going to slide right off the hairpin turn. And luckily, at the bend where my car should have slid off, we just stopped in a rut. Well, I was in my Jeep. That was so scary.
Yeah, you really need to be in a vehicle that's actually designed for that. My Bourbon would have did a much better job than the Jeep at that point.
No.
I think.
It weighed heavier. You probably would have went off the edge. No, there was nothing.
It's just a matter of actually having the right tires, everything for it. I mean, that's the thing.
I was in a vehicle with anti-lock
You
brakes,
can
man.
drop that sucker down into a low and first gear and crawl.
No, it wasn't because I was going too fast and come to a skid. It's just because I was punting, wasn't I, Jenny? And it just started sliding from the weight of the vehicle. Yeah, you had to have been there.
Anyway, there's a road that goes from here all the way over to Franklin Basin, and it's beautiful. It's a really nice drive.
Apparently not in the rain.
There's so many animal tracks everywhere.
Yeah.
You know the deer are coming down here. They can't get nothing to eat in 8 feet of snow. They got to come down here. We usually see a lot of turkeys in the wintertime through here too.
Yeah, I've yet to see a turkey this whole drive.
They'll be closer down to Riverdale, down here at Grand End.
Oh, okay.
We're getting close to where the Bear River comes out, aren't we? A really good inner tubing spot's coming up. If you like the inner tube.
Obviously, something's pretty popular up in that direction.
Yeah.
A lot of game trails up there.
Yeah, that's not game, that's people. Snowmobiles.
Oh, I see.
There's probably a break in the fence right there.
Have we passed Birch Creek yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, a guy was telling me that his grandparents that homesteaded back there in Birch Creek, a lot of the locals and stuff, way back when they homesteaded and stuff, they called it Bigfoot Creek. So many Bigfoot sightings that went on around that creek.
What were you saying, Jen?
Like those trails that we just saw coming out of the mountain right there, you can tell are elk or deer because they're a solid trail. Not like those footsteps we saw back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they're actual steps and not an animal trail like Dill, yeah. Well, what a muddy mess.
Yeah, that is a muddy mess.
This is down where the turkeys usually are.
Oh, here's the bear. Yeah, to our right, back in there is where people do a lot of inner tubing. Jenny's inner tube down there. What, Jenny, Dylan, Caleb?
Uh-huh. There's a bunch of
There's
turkeys.
your turkeys.
Whole
A
field of
ton
them.
of them.
I don't know if the camera got them. You take a picture of them, Jenny?
Don't be going too far. You're going to get in a mud mess. You're going to get out of this.
Actually, I'm going to go up to that road up there. Or is that, there's right here better.
Just hold on.
Derek guesstimated about 30 turkeys. We took a couple of photos of them and we'll show you guys. You think Bigfoot eats turkeys?
Ow. No good.
Turkeys are no good?
No, the window isn't open like that is no good. I've never eaten a wild turkey. I don't know if they're good or not. I've been told that they're pretty gamey.
Depends on what you're used to, I guess.
Some deer.
No. Missed that one.
We did get a deer on film crossing by Bear Lake.
Go for a walk. 2 minutes down.
This Bear River, I couldn't point to the exact stretch, but the Bear River up around this area, there's a Bigfoot sighting report of it actually jumping in the river and swimming across the river. And the guy it freaked the guy out because it jumped in on the opposite side of the river and swam to his side. There's a few Bigfoot sightings around that river. That's one of them that really sticks out because they actually seen the creature swimming. Yeah, the Bear River comes from the Uinta Mountains and meanders its way 1,300 miles, and it's only making like a 90-mile trip. It's 90 miles from the Uintas, where the river leaves, to Bear Lake. But the river meanders so much that it covers about 1,300 miles, or 1,200 and something, pretty close to 1,300. And when you live around this river, you're just about everywhere you go, you're always crossing that river because it meanders so much. Is it clear that way?
Yes.
They're crossing the river again.
We're getting back into town.
Yes, we are. I think we're close enough to wrap this up. We just talked about and showed you guys the general area of probably at least a dozen Bigfoot sightings, maybe more. So I hope you enjoyed this roundtable of Bigfoot sighting hot spots. Logan Canyon to Bear Lake, out to Mink Creek. We've been in Utah, we've been in Idaho. Keep on watching, we're gonna keep on squatching.